Everyone, for today's video, I thought I would do a bit of a gameplay guide rather than a character one, and do sort of a run-through of the Heart of Midnight, the Act 1 finale where you fight your first boss. This is, of course, on very hard. I have seen a couple people here and there asking for sort of tips or advice. They're having a rough time getting through it, so figured why not show how I go through it on very hard during my Tyrant Christian run. Now, the first thing I would suggest before you even get into the mission is to make sure that you have potions. It's a very easy thing to forget. I forget even a lot of times, and I'm hundreds of hours into this game. Whoever you're going to bring, make sure they're stocked up on potions. For Mordred, I usually prefer to bring a health potion and an armor potion to cover both of his defenses. For whoever your main damage dealer is going to be, you want to maybe bring a bless potion, and then a health potion if you're bringing a vanguard, an armor potion, or a health potion. They're about the same if you're bringing a champion. And then I usually just bring health potions on these two. As for what team comp you should bring, I do highly recommend 2 melee, 2 ranged. At this point in the game, you're either going to have Balin with an I or Balin with an A. Since I'm going Tyrant Christian, I have the Vanguard Balin. I do prefer to bring a champion for the fight, just because he's going to be a bit tankier. And that only leaves me with Sir Kay, so that's who I'm going to be bringing. If you have the champion Balin or even Lanvil, someone with defensive stance, I would recommend them over Sir Kay. Generally, I prefer Dindrain earlier on in the game over Yvain, and then Ector is just kind of a must-have. He's really good. He's your only Arcanist so far. Arcanists are very strong. So, with all of the prep stuff out of the way, let's just get into the mission. As you go through the mission, there are 3 mandatory fights you have to do before you reach the boss, and there's a 4th optional one, which you're going to want to do if you want to get as many rewards as possible. You do pick up an extra hero here, the Hermit, at the very beginning, and the Hermit will not stick around and help you with the Night of Midnight. So you do need to make sure he survives, but since he won't be going into that next fight, you don't need to worry about how much vitality he has by the end of the mission. You can be a little more aggressive with him, just not too aggressive to the point that he dies. I'm not going to show every single fight, because that would make this video way too long. Just my general strategy as I go through them. If you've seen my combat guide, I'm going to be playing defensively to try and make sure I have as much health as possible going from fight to fight. There aren't a whole lot of opportunities to heal in this mission, campfire-wise. So just keep that in mind. The priority is pretty much always going to be the Banshee if she's within range. Otherwise, the priority is going to be whatever's closest to me. Alright, so the fight's over. You can see I did take a hit on my Dindrain. Everyone else is pretty fine. After you beat the mission, you'll be prompted with a shrine. And you're probably familiar with this by now. You interact with the shrine. It offers you a bonus that'll last into the next fight. These ones actually last for the entire mission. You'll notice it says lasting bless, not just bless. And this one means it's going to be providing extra damage. The fights leading up to the boss, not a huge problem. The boss, a bit of a problem. A lot of new players, their first instinct, I had the same one, is to put it on Mordred, stack him up. He's your defender. He's not doing the most damage anyway, so you're going to get the most bang for your buck out of this by putting it on one of your damage dealers. In this party, that's either Ector or Sir Kay. I'm going to put it on Sir Kay. The Knight of Midnight has a good amount of armor, so the more damage Sir Kay has, as he has the highest armor breaking value, the faster I can shred through that armor and start doing full damage to him from all of my party members. Now you'll see, plus 25% damage until the end of the current mission. We're at the second fight. This is the second shrine. They are very far away. They have crossbowmen. They even have a bone totem over here that's going to be summoning more minions. My advice for this fight, I just camp down where I am. I let them come to me, I shoot them. As usual, I sort of just turtle up, I play defensive. If I go running at them, they're going to start lighting me up with their crossbowmen, and I'm going to be taking so much unnecessary damage. My Arcanists can outrange their crossbowmen, and my marksman here, Dendrain, can exchange fire with them. Let them waste their AP coming to me, rather than shooting me, and then I shoot them on my next turn. You may be worried about the bone totem constantly spawning in more enemies. It will make the fight take a little bit longer, but you can actually kill them faster than the bone totem can spawn them if you are playing correctly and smartly. The bone totem, also fun fact, is not infinite. It has a set number of undead it will summon before it just breaks on its own. So take your time with this one. Don't go rushing in. You will take a lot of unnecessary damage. You may have to burn through your potions, and we want to try and save those as long as possible. Just wanted to give you a quick little snapshot. You can see my Hermit's taking some damage. That's completely fine. And they're down to one crossbowman with the totem in the back. Slowly just making my way forward. And you can see everyone else is still in pretty good shape. Now, once you've cleansed the second shrine, you will get another lasting blessing, or boon, shrine buff. And this one is for swiftness. This means the hero is going to get extra AP. Again, you're going to want to put this on your primary damage dealer, so that way they can get more attacks in. I'm going to be putting this on Sir K. He is my primary damage dealer for this fight. Champions struggle a bit with AP economy, especially in the early game, so this will actually be a really big boon for him. And if you're bringing a Vanguard instead, basically whatever blessings I've been putting on my champion, you would just transfer over to your Vanguard. Now, I just wanted to show you where the optional fight is, in case you weren't aware. It is in this bottom left-hand corner. When you get too close, dialogue does pop up, giving you the option to not fight them. I am choosing to because I want to get all the loot. But if you find yourself struggling a lot with this mission, you may want to hold off on doing this, maybe skip it, go fight the boss. Once you fight the boss, you don't have to leave immediately. You can still run around and explore, right? So if you find your party is healthy enough, you can actually come back to this optional fight at the end and then fight them. Overall, that may be the smarter strategy, but I'm being a bit cocky or lazy and don't feel like coming back to it later. So I'm at the third and final mandatory fight before you get to the boss, the last shrine. This fight's probably a bit easier than the first two, in my opinion, a lot less enemies. More will spawn, I believe, throughout the course of the fight if you take too long. I still think playing defensively is the best strategy. They don't spawn super fast. You can still very easily manage them, even on very hard. I just don't like rushing in, because like I mentioned before, we can check the range. If I rush in, it just makes it easier for them to move as little as possible and hit me. The Banshee is so far away, no matter how much I move up on her in a single turn, she's just going to be shooting at us, and I'm probably going to still have to reposition on my next turn to get good shots at her. So I'd rather make her come closer, make them come closer, and try and take as few hits as possible. You can see just doing Overwatch attacks, one is already dead before it reached me. The Banshee just sat back here, just walked right and left. It's because she also doesn't want to get close. She wants us to come to her. It's part of her AI to use range to her advantage as well. So if she wants to sit back there and do nothing, it just makes it that much easier to take out her goons here. And then if she's all alone, then yeah, totally I can start being more aggressive, run at her if she keeps sitting in the back. But usually she starts to make her way up a little bit by the time I finish killing these guys. So we managed to end that fight with our Hermit taking an injury. But as I mentioned before, he doesn't go into the last boss with us, so this is completely fine. The next time he shows up, it doesn't matter what state he's in here. It's whatever. As we go into this last shrine buff, it's protection. This means we're going to get extra armor. This one, I generally just like to go all in on whoever my damage dealer is. If we're using a Vanguard, they're not going to get a lot from it. If we're using a champion, I think it is worth putting on the champion. If you're using a Vanguard, you may want to put it on Mordred just to help make him that much tankier and eat some hits better over the course of the fight. For K, it does give him a couple extra armor, and I think that is pretty useful. For someone like a Vanguard, who's only going to have 2 armor, it'll bring him up to 3. That's still so low. I don't think that's really a significant difference. So I wanted to show you this real quick as well. On the map, you can kind of see the discovered location so far. We'll be crossing over this way to the boss. There's a campfire here and here, so make sure you explore thoroughly, find these campfires. You're going to need them. I'm going to use this to restore some armor. I'm missing like a tiny bit of health on Dindrain, but Mordred and Kay could definitely use topping up before going into this next fight. And here we are in the boss fight against the Knight of Midnight. He starts with 3 Banshees spawned, feeding into him some buffs. This one is doing Protect Midnight, this one is doing Strengthen Midnight, and this one is doing Regenerate Midnight, meaning defense boost, damage boost, some health regeneration. The reason why I keep 2 ranged, their primary job is actually going to be killing these Banshees. And to some degree, the adds that spawn in, though that does kind of become a bit of a group task depending on who's near who. Mordred is going to try and face tank the boss as much as possible, and our champion here, Sir K, he's just going to try and do as much damage as possible. So on this first turn, we can't reach him. I mean, I can barely reach him, get 1 attack in with Mordred. I can't even reach him with Sir K. So I'm not going to bother. We look at his movement. He can reach us, but he won't be able to really get attacks in, so we're just going to keep camping here, let him come to us, but we will start putting damage in on these Banshees. You can see they do have dodge. That is annoying. I use slow there because I have bonus damage against slowed targets due to my gear and hexed targets, and as you can see now, that extra damage let us get this Banshee low enough for the burn dot to actually kill her. We're going to pivot our ranged a bit over here, put some distance. Using Poison Arrow because it does more damage and it's cheaper. Alright, next turn we should be able to kill that one. Just gonna rush Sir Mordred in with a shield charge. Let's go ahead and put Stigma on him. And then we're just gonna start swinging with K. We'll actually use a Bless Potion. You can see it costs 0 AP for me. I got the facility upgrade for that. Very nice. Already got his HP fairly low. Armor down to 1. Took a little bit of damage there. That's why we bring healing potions. We're just going to pop both, get back up really healthy. Put 1 in there. 1 shot there. 1 shot there. We're not even going to bother moving. We're just going to keep standing this. It's alright. Get the hits in. And now I can attack the boss again with Sir K. I'm not going to. This boss transitions into phase 2, summons minions, once we get into his vitality. Every other one of my party members here has used up their turn. So we're going to be going into phase 2 basically on a completely even grounds. I want to have my party as healthy as possible going into phase 2 so we can help deal with the adds or whatever happens. It means we're going to take, you know, a little extra damage on these guys, but they're super healthy right now. I'm not worried about it. Hector's taking a beating. Alright, so there's the bone cage. That's no problem. K is right next to him, immediately freeze him. I'm going to use the heal ability that I have on Isolde's necklace to bring Hector back up. Put a shot in with Dindrain. Finish off the Hag. And we actually don't have a clear shot, so we're not going to do anything with her. And we're going to put Stigma back up. Start swinging. There we are, phase 2. There's the things I was talking about. Okay, not bad positioning. We can actually put this crossbowman down immediately. You can see this one spawned in some of the fire, so it actually took some damage. He's way over here, that's not a problem. I'm not too worried. We're actually going to pull Hector back a little bit, make it a little harder for the crossbowman to shoot him. Hopefully he'll shoot Mordred. And then we're going to pass. You can see he does start summoning Banshees back. Okay, he shot Dindrain, that's okay. We're actually going to move Mordred to help free Hector. Because Sir Kay, his only job at this point is damage, damage, damage. We're actually going to use an Earthshaker here. Get a double hit. Put down this crossbowman. We're actually going to use an AoE here. And you can see we can kill off the crossbowman before they res, hit the boss, and hit that knight there in the back. We want to keep that knight away from us as long as possible, so we're going to slow him. Really? Still don't have a shot on you, huh? Alright, we're going to move you, and then we're just going to use a poison arrow. Ooh, that's rough. At this point, I think we may just want to go all in on the boss. He's fairly low.
No mercy for the wicked. The Lord is my witness.
I can take for more.
Blessings.
And they should be safe range-wise from the Banshees. We'll pop the healing potion on you. And we should be alright here. Oof. Alright. Hector got really messed up there. Sorry about that. My program kind of bugged out on me, but as you can see, the Knight of Midnight is now dead. My backline did take a little bit of a beating. Dindrain does have a minor injury. She's missing 11 vitality. That's not bad. Hector, though, he got a bit throttled. I did underestimate the range on some of those Banshees. I definitely could have played a bit safer with him. But Sir Mordred came out pretty much unscathed. I mean, the damage he was taking from the boss really didn't amount to much, and Sir Kay, with the use of the blessings and the healing potion we had on him, managed to keep him from dipping into vitality. Without it, he definitely would have. But it may not be immediately obvious at first, but there is a boss chest for some loot tucked over here in this corner. Make sure you grab that. There was always a relic. Looks like we got a tome. And that is the end of the mission. So here we are. Victory! We won. With these results, I'm actually overall fairly happy with it. I mean, Dindrain's a little nicked. In her state, I'd be perfectly comfortable taking her on a mission if I absolutely had to. I mean, I do have a backup, so I may not need to. Hector, he's definitely going into the hospice. He's definitely going into the cathedral. Going to be paying for that instant recovery. Definitely could have played it a little cleaner defensively, especially in regards to Hector. But because he did manage to go into that fight untouched because I played defensively and smartly for the first 4 battles beforehand. He was able to survive that. If he was, a bit more injured from the preceding fights, he could have very easily died there. Dindrain could have been more injured. I mean, everyone could have been coming out of that with some missing vitality or an injury. We go back to Camelot. Yeah, a whole lot of red there. That doesn't look good. Gonna put you in here, buddy. So, that was on very hard. That is my general approach to the Night of Midnight mission and boss fight in general. I'm sure that if I were to do that again, I probably could have avoided some damage on Ector there in that last boss fight, and I'm sure plenty of you will be able to as well. But if you're struggling a bit with this mission, you can't beat it, you're dying, whatever, hopefully this helps, gives you some ideas, maybe gives you some strategies or insight that may help improve your odds on your next attempt. If you're interested in seeing me do this sort of stuff for some of the other bosses, that is definitely something I can do. Just let me know, and thanks for watching.